Hey, Dreammaze here. Welcome to another episode. Today is actually looking into some of the different soil properties of different soils and how you can use these different soils and different products to help amend some of the wet, dry areas, top dressed lawns, and I'll kind of just go through the rest of the episode here. And you can find out as you go. But it's all about adding material to your yard to help deal with too much moisture or not enough moisture. The best way to deal with not enough moisture is get out there and water it. Also, alternatively, you can put in an irrigation system to help with water. The first one actually we'll be going through here is wet areas, as you can see here with the title above me there. So as you can see here, it's just straw is one of the things you can use to help amend your soil to help soak up some of that moisture. And what I would do with this in particular is I would just squish it onto the ground if it is exceptionally wet. Let the straw drop the moisture and then remove the straw, therefore removing the excess moisture that you have. I would really like to demonstrate this outside. Unfortunately, the way COVID restrictions are, I can't. Just a soil additive, and the reason I show you this one in particular is it's a special blend of soil, peat moss, and perlite. So soil and peat moss are great. However, I would caution you against using perlite. Perlite is a water absorption material that it can and will smolder and cause fires. There is many known cases of perlite being put into containers, and the containers dry out, and somebody puts a cigarette out in there, or some of the barbecue grease falls into it, and it smolders and will actually catch fire, and has been known to burn down full-on houses. So perlite, it is something that is effective at what it does. However, I would caution you to use it, and if you do use it within your yard, which you can absolutely do, I would say don't use it near your house or anywhere around anything that can burn. Because if it does get a spark in some way for some reason, it will smolder and it will burn anything that it is in contact with, including your house, your deck, your fence. It will all be gone in faster than you realize what actually ended up happening. So this is great for amending soils, but use it with caution. Again, that could be not just this product, but any soil with perlite in it. Is something you have to be very aware of and make sure you use it right. I don't want to be the cause of anybody burning down their house, which is just peat moss. This one is pretty harmless. This it will absorb up the moisture, and again, just like the straw, you can put it on top of really saturated wet areas. Let it absorb into the peat moss and then remove the peat moss. Is what you would do for this as well. Again, you can amend this into the soil, but that would probably further perpetuate the wet area you do have going on in your yard. I will have another episode about water and ways you can prevent wet areas and dry areas in your yard, but however, I need to go into the landscape for that one. It's not one I can do, I think, in front of my computer. I do have an idea about that. It might change. I might be able to kind of show you with sitting in front of my computer what I'm talking about. But I honestly, I do feel I have to go outside into the landscape for that one. So we are actually into dry areas now. And dry areas, all you really need to know about dry areas is you want to add moisture to it. So the best way is to water it. Other ways you can add water to it would be to have irrigation on your property to help irrigate and water the plants, and in this case your dry area you're having trouble with. Add something to the soil that will soak up and absorb any moisture that it does receive, and hold it there until the plants have an opportunity to use it there for helping the dry area in your yard. So we'll just go without further ado. We'll start going through them. These are some good ones. These organic are actually a little bit better than just the old average stuff. And the organic is because it is actually compost material that would be reasoning for the name organic. And it does have a little bit more water absorption properties than some other type of soil that you might be able to find. So compost and organic would be better. However, anything you add to it will add moisture, but you just have to add water. So we'll go on to looking at doing some amending of your lawn here next. So this one is just a black soil. And what I would do is I would empty this bag into a wheelbarrow, and I would add your seeds you're going to be putting in to help fill in that low area in your yard. And just mix them both together. And then you can just shovel it out of the wheelbarrow right onto the ground and spread it out nice and even and fill in that low area. And just give it a nice big old water there, and it should come back and look beautiful for you in no time. There is some alternatives here. This one actually does have a fertilizer with it as well. So not only will it grow well when taken care of, it will grow to be thicker and more full, which is also very similar to what this product does here. Seeds, you have to be very aware that of the weed seed content. Usually the lower the price point, the higher the value of weeds seeds that will be within the seed bank of that bag of soil. So to have less weeds, you got to spend more money. If you spend less money, you're going to have more weeds. So you kind of got to budget your way through it and say, okay, I don't want any weeds. Let's do the best I can for it and buy the best. Or you can go on the low end and have to do some extra hard work yourself. So when picking seeds, be very aware that there is, within every single package of grass seed, there is weed seeds included with it, from a small percentage up to a greater percentage. So choose your grass seed wisely. Garden stuff. Everybody loves a garden. I love a garden. Everybody has to love a garden. Garden, it's actually going to go through the slides here. Garden, really any type of soil in your garden helps. There is many different types of soil. This one here is actually a seed compost. First time I've seen that in quite a while. But it is a sea-related compost, so it's going to have a little bit more of some of the sea creatures in it, which have greater calcium content, so it is kind of like a fertilizer. Then we have, this one is just a nice black earth behind me, to my left here. And the black earth is just something that's good to put into the garden soil. This one is actually a garden-specific type soil that you see next to me here, and it is just a kind of, really any soil is good for a garden. I would not put perlite in your garden. The reason I say that is if a spark, some grease from the barbecue, a cigarette gets tossed into your yard, it could make your entire garden burn from the ground up. You won't know it's dead until you go over there and touch the plant and realize that the entire ground is on fire underneath you. So please don't use perlite in your garden. You will save your plants and save their well-being. So we've kind of gone through all the images here. We'll go on to the next one. So all-purpose is kind of just a general use. You can use it on everything. It can go in your garden. It can go into some pots, into some containers. It can be used in raised beds. It can be used as top dressing for lawn. It's just kind of all around a great choice for any soil additive materials that you want to be using. This one is very similar to the other one. However, this one here has fertilizer with it as well. So to help growing the plants you add to this particular area that you've amended with this soil. All purpose is kind of, there's general mixes for everything here. It kind of goes through everything. Really, every soil is used for everything, but stay away from perlite. Perlite scares me and should scare you. So we'll actually go on to a different type of potting soil here, specifically for putting into pots. So this is just actual potting mix. It says right on the bag that it's for potting, and usually it has fertilizers contained within it. Not all of them do, so you do have to be aware of that. And honestly, what you're looking for is where this orange label is here, you see, kind of running vertically. It's just above that. You see a series of numbers that will indicate that you have fertilizer within that soil. Sustain and grow your plants bigger, or as they say here, twice as big. Again, this one is actually further moisture control. I don't think it has perlite, but again, check. Perlite is something you need to know about. I doubt that it has perlite with it because it also has fertilizers. Usually those two do not go together. I have not seen a product that has the two of those together. So good on them for keeping perlite, which can be dangerous, away from some of the other stuff there. So this one again is just, there's all kinds of different potting mix all over the place. So there you go, some of the different soils you can put into your different potting container or containers in your yard. What will help with some of the dry areas, which is ground cover. And ground cover can be anything from limestone rocks, pea gravel. The number one I would suggest to anybody is mulch. Mulch will help prevent weeds from growing through. When they do grow through, they will be easy to pull out. As well as retaining and holding a lot of the moisture that that area does receive for when the plants can use it. And there is all kinds of different mulches. Go through some of them here. Your red cedar wood, brown. This one is actual just cedar chips. Then we have just a red shaly type thing. Then we have a classic black. There's all manner of different kinds of ground cover. You can even go to, what is this, pea gravel? Yeah, this is just pea gravel. There's different limestones you can put on stuff. Oh, there's a pea gravel. So that wasn't pea gravel before. It was, looks like limestone. So you got limestone, pea gravel, and so forth there. Again, mulch, it comes in just every conceivable color. You can get, I think this one's actual just little like nuggets. So there's different textures, different colors. It's a very personal thing to have mulch and choose it for your yard. I do, when I have used clients that are looking for mulch in the past, and use it as ground cover. It is very particular to the person. You might be able to play off some of the color on your house by putting a nice classic black in there. Is usually the way you would play off the colors of your house. However, if you have a brick house, the one here behind me, red, would really kind of help blend it into the exterior of your house. So different design options that you would use for interior design can actually be applied to some of your outside design, as far as playing off different colors that you have within your thing and making certain areas pop and not pop. Can be done actually just with mulch. And mulch can be delivered in gigantic piles, in big bags. You can go and pick it up at the store in little tiny bags. You can get them in medium, large size bags. But ground cover is your strongest tool within your landscape to help maintain healthy plants and trees. The base of all of your trees and all of your shrubs and everything should all have mulch. And should also be cleaned up in the spring and the fall because it's an important part as well. So we will actually go on to a little bit of a extra section I have put on here, talking about a particular part of a product. This one is generated and created by the use of mycorrhizal fungi, which is a living being. It is a fungi. It is a fungus. But it's actually a beneficial fungus in so many different ways. Educated landscapers really like this product, and some people might know about it, some people might not. So I'm going to bring it to your attention here. Mycorrhizal fungi, I was talking about a second ago. It is a fungi that attaches itself to the plant. But don't worry, don't worry. It's a good thing when I say this next part. So it will attach to yourself to the roots of the plant. But what this mycorrhizal fungi does is it creates a symbiotic relationship with the plant. It kind of uses the plant as a host, but what it allows the plant being the host to do is grow stronger and bigger and hardier and longer, and all of the good stuff that you want with it to make it help and do better. Because what it does is it increases a greater surface area of the actual root system of the plant, therefore generating a greater nutrient uptake, greater water uptake, and general better plant health, and usually a greater yield and size. It is something that is a very strong tool that you can actually purchase through different types of products that you can put into your yard, and have as a little extra bonus when you're amending that bed or putting it into pots, is mycorrhizal fungi. I will tell you one more thing here. The soil does need, it is a living being that is put within the soil, and there is a certain amount of a shelf life to it. So you have to get fresh soil that has this additive within it, in order for it to be effective. If you have some of it in your garage from last year with cold temperatures, specifically in Canada, maybe not in some of the southern parts of the States, it will expire and it will kill off that living being that is in the soil. So it has to be fresh in order for it to work. However, it is a very strong asset and can sometimes blow your mind as to how well it makes plants do when it really attaches and does well to the plants. So it's a good thing. It's a great thing. Thank you for joining me for another episode here. I appreciate you guys stopping by and learning a little bit about how to amend some of the wet and dry areas in your yard. Hopefully I was helpful for there. Should you have any questions, concerns, something that might be going in your wrong in your yard, you would like to bring to my attention, I can absolutely address that situation with you in a further episode, so I can help you understand what nature has to say, and better help and protect the well-being of your plants or trees within your yard. If you would like to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my website at dreammaze.ca. You can go and visit as well. Alternatively, you can subscribe to the channel below or hit the little notification bell that is there. I will not be uploading videos in the middle of the night. All of my videos I will be uploading will be during the day or will be time scheduled to be during the day. So if you want to hit that little bell, there's no harm in doing so unless you're on the other side of the world. When I do upload my videos, it will be nighttime for you. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate everybody. Until next time, take care of yourself, your friends, and your family. Till next time.